Alright, to do your next constructions, you need to do something like twice as long as this segment they give you. Again, start with your ray going out, and you're going to take your compass and put your center down here, figure out what hole gets you the end point there, and you're going to put your compass here on the end, use that same hole to draw your first arc, and once you do that, you're going to get this intersection point. You're going to then pick up your compass and put its center right there and come out this way and use the same hole you had gotten here to make a second arc. And so now what you've done is you've copied this segment here, and then you copied it here using this new endpoint. And so you got two of the segments in a row. It gives you your segment that's twice as long. B, you need to make it 3 times as long. So start with a ray somewhere else that's not right here, and use your compass to put it down. Put the center down at one end, figure out what hole shows the end point of your line, and come down here to your ray. Use that same hole to make an arc. Then pick up your compass right here to make another arc using that same hole that you found out right there. And then you're going to pick up your compass again, put your center at your new intersection point, and come out and make a new arc. Once you have that, you're going to have 3 consecutive segments that are all that length, and so from here to your last intersection is 3 times as long. So now moving on to 5, we have to construct a line segment that's half as long. To do that, get a perpendicular bisector going. If you forgot how to do that, you're going to take your compass, put it down on one end of your segment, and come out and pick your favorite hole that's past halfway across and make an arc that goes around. You're then going to pick up your compass and put the center at the other end and put it out and use the same hole, the same radius that you did before, to make your other arc. And you're going to have these 2 arcs. They're going to intersect at 2 different points. Those 2 points are the points you're going to draw your line through, and that will give you the perpendicular bisector. And where the perpendicular bisector crosses your segment, that is going to be where halfway is, halfway across the segment. So this is our segment we're going to copy. To copy that segment, you draw a ray that goes out, and then use your compass to figure out what radius gets you the end there. And you're going to put your compass down on this side, use that same hole to make your arc. And once you have that arc, you'll be able to just put a point there, and from the end point of your ray to that intersection is half the length. And on this one, follow the same steps. Get your 2 arcs going from the 2 centers of the 2 ends of your segment for the centers of your compasses, using the same radius for the arcs. You'll get 2 intersection points. You'll draw your line that goes through them. That's going to give you this intersection here in the middle. That's the midpoint. So from one end to that is half the length. That's the segment you're going to copy. So draw a ray. Use your compass to figure out what radius will get you to the end. And you're going to use your compass using that same hole to draw another arc. And once you have that arc, you'll be able to get your intersection, and the end of your ray to that intersection point is half the length of the total thing, the total line segment that you started with. Moving on to 6, you can actually skip these ones because we're not gonna really spend time on them in class. But if you're really interested, I'm sure you can just look up on YouTube. This is dividing a line into equal parts construction, and you can find out how to do these It involves drawing another line out, drawing 3 equally spaced arcs, I guess intersections, and then you'll draw parallel lines that will divide your segment into 3 parts. And here's my other one. Notice I messed up a little bit there. It's because things didn't connect quite right. Notice how these don't really look parallel, and that's mainly the fault of the compass and the fact that they're not very exact and they move around a bit. It makes it really hard to get exact arcs. Anyway, moving on to 7. Again, you're making perpendicular bisectors. So from each of your ends, you're going to put your compass down, stretch it out, and pick your favorite hole that's more than halfway and draw an arc. When you put your compass down on the other side with your center there, again, you're going to draw it out, and you have to use the same hole that you used going from that way to draw this other arc. That means you're going to have the same radius for both your arcs. And when you do that, you're going to get 2 intersection points. And you draw the line that goes through the intersection points. And then I'll give you your perpendicular bisector. On B, you'll do the same thing. Something that I had messed up on. You notice on these 2 middle arcs here, the smaller ones, they weren't big enough. I didn't go past halfway with my arc. And so when I drew them, they met here in the middle, and I don't have solid intersection points to draw my line through. And so I had to pick a bigger radius out here to draw my arc, and use that same radius going the other way to draw that arc. And then I did have 2 distinct intersection points that I could draw my line through to give me my perpendicular bisector. Moving on to the last one. To get the midpoint, you just make perpendicular bisectors. So again, put your compass on one end, pick your favorite hole that goes past halfway, and draw an arc, and use that same hole to draw an arc coming from the other side with your center of your compass on the other end of the line segment. And once you have that, you'll have your 2 intersection points. Draw a line that goes through them, and you'll have a perpendicular bisector, and where the perpendicular bisector crosses your line, that is the midpoint. And this one's the same construction. You got your 2 endpoints, put your compass down, favorite hole, draw your arc, use that same hole as you draw your other arc with your center on the other end of your line segment, and that'll give you your 2 intersecting arcs. Those 2 points is what you use to draw your line, and where that line crosses your segment is the midpoint for your line. And that's the whole thing.